the place like elementary. Midnight Mirage is the next to move. We gon' set it on right when we in the groove. Got Nicky D there, my mom's fresh hair. My name's Old Pro, I just grabbed it out of hand.
It's like you're not necessarily, it's not about the dollar on it, it's more about wanting people to hear it, wanting to share it and get better.
Yeah,
and so
kind of getting that critique. It's like, hey, it's like maybe you won't like it, maybe you will. But like,
what can I do better?
Absolutely. Like, tell me about the music scene out here. Like,
yeah.
What's that like? Climbing through those ranks and this kind of.
I think here, I think like most things, it's very blue collar. It's very, you kind of have to get in and get your hands dirty. You kind of have to get in at a ground level, learn and consume as much as you can, and work really hard, and then also be humble enough to any opportunity that you get with someone that's done a little bit more, that's a little more established. Listen to what they have to say, listen to what they're showing you, even if you don't know them personally. Pay attention to what's going on, and then use that as a way to like kind of have a blueprint to tweak what you're trying to do. Because that's really what it's about. Like everything I learned through music and artistry, I learned by being a student and a fan. So I never have lost the, even as an active participant now, by chance, because I've been doing it for so long, I'm still a fan. I still go out and purchase music. I still listen to what artists have to say. Like me and you were talking, I'm still watching YouTube videos of people's studio sessions, regardless if they're a new artist coming out, or if it's Quincy Jones, or if it's, you know, Bob Power, any of them.
I can crank out verses after verse after verse.
That's how I used to be, man. Because that's where my heart was.
Yeah.
My heart was in like rhyming, blah blah blah. I was lucky enough to be around cats that were like still doing the same things that I was doing, but they were like, all right, I see all my peer group doing this side of it, so I'm gonna try to do this and help these guys out. You know, and that I got spoiled by like some of my closest buddies being able to mix and master and do all those other things, because at that time I wasn't ready for any of that, and it was really hard to purchase like recording software and gear. Then you still bought boards. So I remember like the people who had like digital 8 tracks, like my buddy Nero Sco, like in KC, hip hop legend. I remember when he got a digital 8 track, it was like the biggest deal, because then we could actually record our stuff digitally, because we were still using 4-track tapes where like every time you messed up, you had to cut back, rewind it, do it all again. And then the more you did it, the lower the tape quality was. You only had 4 tracks to work with, and that was like everything you wanted in there in 4 tracks. So, but yeah, it's really, now that I'm a little bit older, it's a lot easier for me to sit, mix, and master, because I've gotten a lot of like the performance and the thoughts and the production and all that stuff. I've worked through a lot of that, and I'm able to do it at an easier pace. It's a lot easier for me to do ABC and then get to the mixing and mastering part. And I now understand what I'm doing when I'm mixing and mastering, because a lot of times it always drove me crazy, especially when we would play live shows, when the old guard of engineers, like the old rock dudes who didn't care anything about hip hop stuff, they were just like, turn it loud, and that's all they cared.
Yeah.
lot of punk rock. You see a lot of kind of folk stuff up here in Lawrence.
A lot of folk up here.
Yeah, that's a big influence. Blues, and then you've got your funk side of things that pretty much just encompasses all the weird stuff that's going on. A lot of musicians out of KU end up forming these bands, and then they form 6 other bands. That's kind of the scene, is that people just are trying to make bands and see what they can do. There's a lot of local venues to play, and the main thing is just making contacts. We've all made great friends in other bands, and then it just comes back to us. Hey, you guys want to jump on this show? Yeah. And then a few months later, they ask us if we want to jump on a show. So
Yeah, it's a real helpful scene. We're really trying to help each other out for the most part.
yeah, sometimes a scene like, I know when we were down in Wichita, we weren't quite the exact genre. We weren't metal, we weren't punk, we were kind of psychedelic rock, and it was kind of competitive because they were wanting to see where we were going to take it and if we were going to fit the style that they wanted. And being up in Lawrence, and that's no diss on Wichita, that's just they've got established scenes where their metal scenes are doing well, their punk scenes are doing well. People want to hear those styles of music when they're going to shows. Up in Lawrence, you find a lot of people that they just want to see you perform. They're inspired by creativity, weird stuff.
A lot of people just want to dance.
A lot of people want to dance, and a lot of people in this scene talk about how much it's changed and how it's different and how you can't get people out, and I do see that.
Yeah,
but in Lawrence, we're kind of cushioned, I guess, by the college having fresh new faces every year.
Yeah, and people wanting to hear
People
like
wanting to
different
hear,
stuff.
they're wanting to get out and experience the world, and that's really the mentality out here. Is there's a bunch of dreamers, doers, movers.
Yeah.
And that's where you want to be. You want to be where people are trying to be active.
Really, I wanted a big
That's-
dance party.
Yeah.
Start throwing
We
these
had a dance
huge
party at
dance-
Replay, and
It
after
was-
that we were like, okay.
That's what we want.
I said,
That's what
I told the
wanted.
guys, they asked me how it went. I said, well, I know it was a good gig because I broke my brand new sunglasses, okay? Crunched them. They
Yeah.
fell off, I didn't realize it, and I crunched them. And
My favorite part about that night is once the show was done, I jumped off the stage onto the dance floor after everyone cleared out, and I stepped, but my shoes stayed.
Yeah.
Because the dance floor was so sticky. With sweat and beer, and it was it was a sign of a good time.
Yeah.
and
It made it all worth it.
when you have a gig like that and the bartender's done well and
Oh,
the
yeah.
manager's looking at you and you've had a good night, and that was a night that we didn't make any money. It's not about the money for us. That was all to the Humane Society.